Ineos Masterclass, Mainoo now the villain prophet. Well, look, I've got to call this out before we get into the... Listen, there's a big story that's gone around and it made me a little bit scared and nervous at first. I was like, oh no, a big story has gone out that Mainoo will reject his new contract offer. This is from The Guardian, and potentially seek a move abroad. So, of course, Man United fans on Twitter are having a bit of a meltdown. I could say let's discuss it, but I want to give you guys the context first of all. You may say let's not discuss it. Because in the article, it says, and I quote, because I asked someone to break it down for me and send it through because I couldn't read it all while I was live. Let me read this out to you. So you might still want to talk about it, you might not. Mainoo could still agree on an improved term later on this season, and there's been no direct contact with any other clubs, both neither with his agents or the club at this point. So there may be a plan to move him abroad, but nothing has been discussed at this stage. So the article headline is rejects deal and is going to move abroad. But the body of the article from this is the Guardian, by the way, says still likely to sign a new deal later on this year, and no contact between his agents and other clubs or the Man United and other clubs has taken place. So does this constitute as Mainoo forcing his way out? Are we having that conversation, or is this just what do you guys make of that?
His agent wants that check, bro. That's it, man. Big up the agent on that. Bro. He's staying at United. Man. That Ghanaian agent. Chalet boy. I know you are rubbing your hands. No, bro. No, bro. I don't believe you.
To be fair, his wage demands do seem mental from all the reports. Like I know he's been good, but that's part of the problem why United are in the situation they're in, giving massive contracts out to players.
What does he want, Tom?
Apparently, he wants close to $200,000 a week.
Yeah.
What is he currently on?
If I'm his agent, I'm gonna try it. No.
Well,
I'm gonna try it. Why not? They've been giving out money left, right, and center. I'm gonna try it.
$50K a week at the moment. But the thing is though, like, why do people blame the agent? You have to blame the player.
You have to get the best deal for your client. I hear it.
He's on 20 grand a week.
Don't realize.
20 grand.
Well, because he's on 20 grand.
Yeah, 20 grand a week. 20 grand a week.
Damn. Yeah, up to 200. Yeah, that's crazy. But the thing is, right? The agent works for the player. The agent just doesn't make demands out of nowhere. He talks to the player. The player tells him the range of money that he wants. And then it's up to the agent to go negotiate and try to get the best.
All right, Real Madrid, calm down.
I think you're right to a certain degree.
You think an agent could tell the player what to get and what to look for?
Yeah, no, that could never happen. No, not a chance, man.
Hang on, Will. I think there's a bit of both. I don't think you're completely wrong, but I also think there's an element sometimes where the player will say aim for this, but at the same time, the agent will also give the player advice in the other direction. Because this 100% happens, because I've done interviews with agents in the past. The player will say, what do you think I should be asking for? Because a lot of the time, and we all do this in our own jobs. You know when you're going, have you ever been in a job interview and they say, well, how much do you think you should get paid for this job? A lot of people go, shit, what do I say? How do I answer that question, right? We all do it in life. It's normal. So it works both ways. Mainoo might be sitting there and saying, I want 200 grand a week. He also might be sitting there and saying, well, they're offering me 100. I think that's fair. But what do you think? Well, I think you could get 200. So, and either way, it's still the player's decision to send that agent into negotiations. I don't personally have an issue, though. I look at it this way. If I'm negotiating a price or a salary for anything, I always ask for more than I'm on. Whenever I went for a new job in the banking world, what are you earning now? Say I was on 80K a year. I told them it was 120. I'd always say it was higher in the hope they'd go, okay, because I'd be hoping for 90 on this job. Oh, look, they've offered me 105 because I told them I was on 1. Me personally, I just feel like this is a big nut. What doesn't help is when you get English Talent FC saying that, Ineos are trying to make Mainoo the villain. Well, no, it's Mainoo's agents that are pushing this story, not Man United. It's the agent who is asking for that kind of money. It's the agent that is putting his player into that shop window. And look, if you are right. If Man United fans turn on him over this, that's on them. It's again, they're toaster people, Talent FC. They're people I wouldn't trust with a toaster. I think they're delinquents. Turning on Mainoo for fighting to earn as much money as possible. He's a working class person. I have no issues with it. By the way, he's got 3 years left on his current contract, so I'm not panicking in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And I think he'll end up with a new deal, probably about 150 a week. There'll be a happy medium.
That's
between
fair.
We've offered him 120 that it looks like he's going to say no to. They're asking for 180. He's probably going to end up on about 150 a week. New 3-year extension, so it's a 6-year deal. I I'm personally, as a United fan, I just feel like this is a nothing burger, really.
But then, Terry, so as a Manchester United fan, do you think that you just have more like hope that he signs a new deal versus it actually get done? Because if you're representing Mainoo, right, or if you're somebody that he trusts, like your opinion, wouldn't you recommend him to explore the options abroad or what other clubs would be in for him? Because I just don't see Manchester United having a positive future, like as things are right now.
Well, but that's asking me to assess it based on how you view things. That's not how it works, is it? It's got to be how I view it. So,
So then, like, how do you view it? Yeah, that's what
look, listen. My advice to Mainoo now is the same advice that I gave to Rashford, Greenwood as well, to be fair, and a few of the other youngsters 5-6 years ago. I would sign the new deal because you're going to earn good money. He obviously loves the club. He's a Man United fan. He's been here since he was a kid. I would give it 18 months from this point, and from this point, so up until the summer of next year, essentially, not quite 18 months, just under, to see where we are and the direction we're going in. He'll still be very young. Then I would be like, right, now I'm going to start pushing for that move. And it doesn't matter that he has 5 years left on his deal. When you want to leave a football club, you get sold. It's the biggest mistake, by the way. I've got the same attitude to these young players as I did Harry Kane at Spurs. Harry Kane's biggest mistake in his whole career was staying at Tottenham as long as he did. I got why he did it. He believed in what Daniel Levy was selling him. And the irony is, Spurs fans hate me saying that. They're the same people that say that Daniel Levy's a lying bastard and takes the club backwards. So I think Harry Kane was a dickhead for believing his plan of action, because it took Spurs backwards, and of course the players suffer as well. So that would be my message. I would say right now, don't leave. I still think stay where you're from. The environment, in terms of, he's from Manchester, his friends and family are here. He's a great lad by all accounts, and he works hard and everything else. I'd stay for that period. I'd get the pay rise. I'd give it 18 months. If the club is still going backwards or is completely standing still and there isn't any progression, then I would move. And the reason why I say that is because every single kid that comes through an academy in this country, and I'm sure it's the same, in Spain and everywhere else, if there's a chance if we do start to improve over the next 18 months and United are getting back towards being a great side again, fingers crossed from my perspective that happens, a player like Mainoo is going to want it maybe more than anybody because of where he was born, where he was brought up, coming through the academy. So I'd say give it 18 months. And if we ain't getting better, then I would like him to force himself out, because he'd be too good a football player to waste himself like Martial did, like Pogba did, like Rashford did at the club that was always going backwards. So, yeah, I've got the same energy for my players as I did for Harry Kane. So, same energy from me. I hope we move forward, but I'm talking on a personal level, how I see it. The Man United fan in me, and this is, there'll be some trolls online that will clip this up. Well, Terry wants his own players to leave. The Man United fan in me doesn't want any of them to leave. But the human being, the reasonable, nearly 40-year-old adult, if I was advising Mainoo, I wouldn't advise him as a Man United fan. That would be wrong to do. I'd have to advise him objectively, and that would be give it 18 months. If it isn't improving, force yourself out and go to a club with a better atmosphere, no toxicity, that's progressing and moving forward. And I've said this about Harry Kane for a decade. A player of his talent and ability should be a Premier League legend, not just a top goal scorer. He should be a Premier League legend, not just one of the best goal scorers we've had. I don't want Mainoo as an example in 10 years' time being in that kind of... I wouldn't even want him in that Matt Letizia category. I don't want him to be he's a Barclays man. I want him to be an absolute stalwart of the game with the trophies. The man's already got at 18 a man of the match and goal winning, and got the winning goal in an FA Cup final. That's what I want for his career. More and more and more of that. So the Man United fan in me, please stay forever. The grown-up, the adult, the father in me is give it 18 months, mate. If it ain't working, fuck off and have a good career. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for everyone who clips me up and takes me out of context, anyone wants to protect me, just put the whole thing in. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there we go. Might make sense then. Might make sense. So, but I think he'll stay. I hope he stays. I love Mainoo. He's brilliant. Everybody wants him as well. All of you would buy him tomorrow as well. So he gets in all your teams. All of you would.
No, I'm good. I'm all right.
No, I'll take it.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you.
Oh no! Well, no. Listen, I forgot there's a Real Madrid fan in here. Actually, I forgot there's a Madrid fan in here. So he's better than.
He would be excellent for Barcelona though, but they just can't afford him. But he would be.
No, you're right.
You can have Dewsbury Hall. I'll take Mainoo. I'll take Mainoo.
You three all.
He wouldn't start for us.
I'd only swap it if we had to do the swap. It'd have to be for Caicedo. That's the only one of your midfielders I'd take.
Forget that.
I like Lavia, but that man's made of biscuits. Do you know what I mean? Like honestly, biscuit. Honestly, no, he is. He is. Like honestly, I think your old man would last longer playing now at 49 years of age than Lavia would. Do you know what I mean? Back in that Chelsea team. So
he's an important Chelsea player, though. Important player for the team.
Kunle's having a dig here at Don, who's I think before said that Lavia is important for Chelsea after 2 games. Or something.
Well, no, here's my
thing. No. He still says it now. Lavia is an important player. Despite the fact
it's us that
when he plays, he's important. But if
but how can he be important if he's played 13 games across 2 seasons? How can he know he's important?
We didn't understand the context, Tom. It's not.
Yeah, he's been injured.
We messed that up.
He has another bad game when he has played, but that's been like a handful of games. Yes. When he does play, he's important, but he's not important to the squad because he's always injured. That's the point I think he's trying to make.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Just a viewer here, Chills. The host is a brown envelope. I do get called that by some people. Why would somebody who takes brown envelopes from the owners of Man United be advocating for every single fan to boycott and take the money away from the club? If you can answer me that question, I will. I'll do any forfeit you want, and I'll shake on it now without even knowing what the forfeit's going to be. You can answer me that question logically. Why would I be calling for an international financial boycott of the owners if the owners are paying me to prop their club up? Tell me how that computes.
Preferably in a super chat.
Yeah. You can tell me how that computes, because that comment did me.